The bell above the gun shop door jingled sharply as Marcus stepped inside, clutching his worn-out notebook like a shield. At 17, he was tall but lean, his sneakers scuffed from walking everywhere. He kept his shoulders squared, trying to project confidence, but the knot in his stomach told another story. The air smelled of oil and wood polish, and rows of rifles and pistols lined the walls in neat displays. Conversation stopped the moment he entered. Two older white men at the counter turned their heads, their laughter fading as they looked him over with narrowed eyes. Behind the counter, the clerk, a stocky man with a grizzled beard and a trucker cap, stared at Marcus like he'd just dragged mud into the store. "Can I help you?" the man asked, his voice flat, laced with irritation. Marcus cleared his throat, his palms sweating. Yeah, I'm doing a school project on hunting laws, and I wanted to ask about getting a hunting license." The clerk's eyes flicked over Marcus again, settling on his frayed hoodie and secondhand jeans. A smirk tugged at his lips as he leaned back, arms folded. "You? A hunting license?" He scoffed loudly enough for the two men at the counter to hear. One of them chuckled, shaking his head. "Kid doesn't look like he's ever held a rifle." The clerk snorted in agreement. "Son, this isn't a library. If you're not buying, maybe take your questions elsewhere." Heat rose in Marcus's face as shame and anger churned in his gut. I just wanted to learn," he began, but the clerk cut him off. "Learn somewhere else. We don't have time for nonsense." The two men laughed under their breath, their voices low but sharp enough to pierce Marcus's skin. He turned on his heel and walked out, the bell's cheerful jingle mocking him as the door closed behind him. Outside, the cold air stung his cheeks, but it was nothing compared to the fire burning in his chest. They saw him as a joke, as a threat, as someone who didn't belong. Marcus tightened his grip on the notebook, jaw set. "This isn't over. Not even close." Marcus sat on the edge of his bed, his hands gripping his phone so tightly his knuckles turned white. His reflection in the cracked mirror across the room looked tired, eyes red, lips pressed into a thin line. He had replayed the moment in the shop over and over, each time feeling the sting sharper, their laughter louder. His fingers hovered over his grandfather's photo on the nightstand. Sergeant Robert Carter, standing proud in his army fatigues, the man who taught him about dignity and strength. What would Grandpa say? Marcus thought bitterly. The humiliation he felt earlier had cooled into something harder, resolve. He scrolled through his contacts until he found the name he needed. Uncle Darius. Swallowing his pride, Marcus hit call. "Yo, nephew," came the deep, warm voice on the other end. "What's up?" Marcus hesitated, his throat tight. "Uncle, I need your help. Something happened today." He told the story, each word shaking with frustration and shame. Darius went silent as Marcus finished, the quiet on the line heavier than any shouting. "Wait, you said the shop on Main?" Darius asked finally, his tone sharper now. "Yeah." Marcus's voice cracked. "The one with all the rifles in the window. They acted like I didn't belong there, like I was a criminal just for walking in. I didn't even get to ask my question." There was a pause, then Darius exhaled slowly, but there was no mistaking the anger in his voice. "You know that's Larkin's shop, right? Mr. Larkin's an old friend of mine. He owns the place. Those punks don't even have the authority to breathe without his say-so." Marcus blinked. "Wait, you know the owner?" "Know him? Boy, your grandfather saved his brother's life in Iraq. Larkin would lose his damn mind if he heard about this. Sit tight, Marcus. You're about to see what happens when the wrong people mess with the right family." As Darius hung up, Marcus stared at the phone, his heart pounding. The shame from earlier began to lift, replaced by something he hadn't felt in that store. Hope. Maybe this wasn't the end. Maybe this was the beginning of something bigger. The next morning, the gun shop was quiet, save for the faint hum of fluorescent lights overhead. The clerk, Tom, leaned lazily on the counter, scrolling through his phone, a smirk still lingering from yesterday's lesson, to that kid who thought he could waltz in asking questions like he belonged. One of the older regulars, Earl, sipped his coffee by the display case, chuckling at some crude joke. but the sound of tires crunching against gravel outside made them both glance up. A sleek black SUV glided into the parking lot, its polished exterior gleaming under the sun. The doors opened, and three figures emerged: a tall man in a tailored suit, sunglasses resting on his face like a shield of authority, another man with a shaved head and military posture, and finally Darius, his stride calm but carrying the weight of a storm. The bell above the door jingled, startling Tom to attention. The suited man entered first, his sharp gaze sweeping over the store like a hawk's. Behind him, Darius walked in, his expression unreadable, while the military man remained just outside, arms folded like a sentinel. Tom straightened, wiping his hands on his apron. Can I help you, sir?" The suited man removed his glasses slowly, revealing eyes that burned with quiet fury. "I'm Mr. Larkin. I own this store." The air seemed to freeze. Tom's smirk faltered. "Oh, Mr. Larkin. I didn't know you were coming today. You didn't know a lot of things, it seems," Larkin cut in coldly. "Like how to treat customers. Like how to respect the grandson of the man who saved my brother's life overseas." Tom's face went pale as Darius stepped forward, his deep voice like rolling thunder. "You humiliated my nephew, a 17-year-old who came in here to learn, not to be mocked. And you laughed in his face." Earl tried to shuffle away, but Larkin's glare caught him. "You too. You watched and said nothing. That ends now." Larkin turned back to Tom, his voice low but deadly. "You're fired. Get out before I have my lawyer explain why." Tom stammered, his hands shaking as he fumbled for his belongings. Marcus stood just outside, watching through the glass door as the men who laughed at him yesterday now sat frozen, their arrogance shattered. The silence in the gun shop felt heavy, almost suffocating, as Tom stumbled out the door, his apron clutched tightly in one hand, his face flushed with humiliation. Mr. Larkin watched him leave, his jaw tight with controlled anger. Earl, the older regular, stood frozen by the counter, avoiding Larkin's piercing stare. "I built this place on respect," Larkin said, his voice sharp enough to cut glass. "Respect for firearms, respect for service, and above all, respect for people. I won't have it tarnished by men like you." Earl swallowed hard and nodded, muttering an apology before slinking out of the store, his coffee left forgotten on the counter. Larkin turned to Marcus, who had stepped timidly inside, his notebook still clutched to his chest like armor. The boy's eyes darted between the men, unsure if he even belonged in this moment. "Come here, son," Larkin said softly, his tone now gentle, almost paternal. Marcus hesitated, then walked forward, the floor creaking under his sneakers. "Your grandfather saved my brother's life overseas," Larkin continued. "I owe him a debt I could never repay. Yesterday, my employees shamed you for simply wanting to learn. That's not just bad business, it's a betrayal of the values your grandfather fought for." Marcus's throat felt tight, words lodged behind the lump of emotion rising in his chest. Darius placed a reassuring hand on his nephew's shoulder. "You've got nothing to prove to them," he said, "but you do have the right to stand tall." Larkin extended his hand. "I'd like to personally mentor you about firearms safety and hunting. You deserve that opportunity and an apology." Marcus shook his hand, the warmth and sincerity in Larkin's grip breaking down the wall of shame that had weighed on him since yesterday. For the first time, he felt seen, not as a stereotype, not as a threat, but as a young man with potential. 2 weeks later, Marcus stood on a quiet shooting range behind the shop, his heart pounding as he lined up his first shot under Larkin's watchful eye. The weight of the rifle felt foreign but empowering in his hands. "Slow breath, in, steady, now squeeze," Larkin instructed. The gun kicked slightly against Marcus's shoulder as the shot rang out, striking the target dead center. "Bullseye," Larkin said with a proud grin. Marcus let out the breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding, a small smile tugging at his lips. Darius clapped him on the back. "Told you. You've got it in your blood." Later, as they walked back toward the shop, Marcus noticed something different. The new clerk, a kind-faced woman, greeted him warmly. The same Regulars who had once mocked him nodded respectfully as he passed. Even the air felt lighter. Marcus paused at the door and glanced back at his uncle. It's weird. I thought I'd feel angry seeing them again. But now, it feels like I've taken something back. Darius nodded knowingly. That's because you didn't just walk out that door yesterday, Marcus. You walked back in and owned it. Marcus smiled as he stepped inside, knowing this time no one would ever make him feel small again.